Hello everybody, my name is Jackson Cole. I'm a cybersecurity student at Indiana Tech, and today I'll be talking about intrusion prevention systems. So some key points I'll be going over today are detection, prevention, types of IPS, benefits and drawbacks, and importance. So detection is the first step in the process of preventing attacks. So whether you're using an IDS or an IPS, which an IDS is just an intrusion detection system that doesn't do any type of prevention, it more just alerts administrators and stuff like that. Both of those obviously have a way of detecting those attacks, because how would you prevent it if you didn't know what it was? So yeah, it checks for known malicious patterns and other documented predefined suspicious activities. So the way it does this is stuff such as signatures. It can check for known bad signatures. So okay, this signature has done these attacks, whatever, boom, you're blocked automatically. And then there's anomaly based detection. Anomaly based detection essentially takes a baseline of your network, and if something does not follow the normal patterns of your network, or it flags it, then that'll get blocked, or whatever it decides to do. Now, there is more than just these, but these are the two main major types of detection. So as for the prevention side, once a threat's detected, the prevention system has a couple options of how it's going to mitigate or block the threat. Now, this really depends on what type of IPS it is, what you're trying to block, where it is, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the prevention systems have many different types of methods for this. Some examples can be blocking traffic. So if I know you're going to do something malicious to my network based on your signature, based on an anomaly, then you're blocked automatically. You can't get on there. You can't access my network. None of that kind of stuff. And another example is rate limiting. So, for example, if Little Johnny's trying to get on your network and Little Johnny sent 500 requests in the span of a minute to your network, he's probably not doing something good. He's probably, I don't know, he could be trying to brute force somebody's account. He could be, sending some kind of DDoS attack. So we're going to rate limit Little Johnny and tell him he can't make another request for the next 3 minutes. So that's essentially what, rate limiting's for. Then there's examples as blocking malware and ransomware. So, okay, if the IPS can tell, based on the detection, that this is probably malware, you're probably going to send malware or ransomware, then you're blocked. And then there's stuff such as blocking SQL injection, which, if you don't know what SQL injection is, essentially you're submitting malicious code via an SQL query, which could possibly let you access somebody's database, view tables, or any of that stuff. So it's definitely there's a lot more to it than that, but that's in short terms what it is, and yeah, that should probably be blocked. Then there's the types of IPS. So there's network-based, which essentially what network-based is, okay, I'm taking the IPS and I'm putting it right in line with you and the rest of everybody else. So it's right smack dab in the middle of the network. Any type of traffic that's coming through can be seen by the IPS. And then there's host-based. And host-based, I wouldn't say is the opposite of that, but host-based is hosted on the machine itself. So if I have a server right here and I'm using an IPS, that's going to be a host-based IPS on the server or any type of desktop machine. Then there's hybrid, which hybrid is essentially a mix of both of those. So hybrid has, the capabilities of both of them, and it intermixes both of them. And then on the other hand, there's cloud-based. So cloud-based, that's for like web applications, online hosted stuff, hosted in the cloud, as it's, said in the name. Now, some benefits and drawbacks. So although an IPS sounds so great for all of this stuff, real-time blocking, all of that kind of stuff, it's not good for every single type of network. So the benefits, using an IPS can have many benefits over an IDS, intrusion detection system, such as real-time threat protection, less downtime for networks, continuous protection, and less impact from attacks. So since it's right smack dab in the middle, checking everything, or it's on the machine, you have real-time threat protection. It's detecting threats in real time and blocking them. And, that means less downtime for networks. So if you have just an IDS where a network administrator has to go in and check these threats and block them, then that could cause downtime for sure. Whereas if they were just blocked beforehand, then we're all good, you know? And yeah, so continuous protection, it's always running, or it's supposed to always be running, and less impact from attacks. So even if the IPS doesn't catch every type of attack at once, even if it catches a couple, then that's less impact. If it can block like an SQL injection attack, then I mean, think about the impact that could have if, especially if you're on a big network like Yahoo has had a couple issues with stuff like that. If that could have been prevented from something, then yeah, you know. And then the drawbacks. So as I was saying before, an IPS isn't fit for all networks. So especially something like a big school network. So if we have like Indiana Tech's network or any other college, for example, you know, if we're not hosting all this secure information and stuff like that, then it might be okay just to have an IDS, because the thing about an IPS is it's really high maintenance. So an IPS, crazy high maintenance, because attacks are constantly evolving. That's the thing about cybersecurity, is you have to constantly learn stuff because attacks and threats are constantly evolving. So, you know, you're going to have to maintain that really well. You're going to have a team to maintain that, or a specific person depending on the size of the network. Um, Another thing is impact on performance. So if I have an IPS that's all the traffic is going through it, if you have a ton of traffic, it's going to slow down the network. So something like a school where, you know, speed is prioritized, it's probably not fit for a school to have an IPS system like that. And the last major thing that I thought of was false positives. So let's say I'm trying to get into your network and my signature is falsely detected as, you know, it's falsely detected as a bad signature. Then I might have issues getting into your network over and over again. And if there's nobody for me to contact or ask, then nothing I can do if I have to get in there. Now, the importance of an IPS. Although some networks may have more sensitive information and more what may seem valuable to an attacker information, all networks receive threats and attacks. So I live in a small town and all that good stuff. And even small businesses in our town receive threats. So, for example, there was just a business a couple months ago and they received a ransomware attack. So, you know, maybe that business doesn't have, you know, usernames, passwords, credit cards, debit cards, or stuff like that. Ransomware can affect any type of network and any type of network system, any type of business, because they don't care about all the other stuff. They're looking, okay, we put ransomware on your machine, you have to pay us to get it off, and they're making money either way. And attacks can cost a lot of money for businesses and hurt their reputation. So, for example, you know, with all the Yahoo database leaks, all the other websites that have had a database leak, think about how bad that hurts their reputation. All of these people trusted them with their information, you know, their passwords, their debit and credit card information, and now that information's public. So, you know, that's not good for a business whatsoever. And, you know, it can cost a lot of money. If somebody has to pay a ransomware attack, if they don't have many other options, and even if they don't pay it, it still costs them money because their machines will be down, causing them to make less money. So the thing is if you have an IPS in place that can block these threats, then it can be super important and it can be so beneficial and so important for a business. And yeah, major costly attacks can just be avoided sometimes by simply using an IPS. Sometimes it's not that simple, but sometimes it is. Now, to conclude this presentation, I just want to say intrusion prevention systems are a key topic in cybersecurity. You know, they can be used to mitigate and block all types of attacks, not just one type, not just another type. So I hope this was useful to some people. I hope you learned a lot. And yeah, thank you for watching my presentation.